And I hope I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. Okay. What's up, my lovelies? Welcome back to my channel. First thing I want to do is thank you so much for subscribing. Those people who subscribed yesterday, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. I do not take it for granted, and I'm really humbled. You already know what I'm about to talk about, and this is a really sensitive subject and topic to me because it's what happened to me. It's my story, it's real life, and I want to put it out there. I am not trying to impose any hate on anyone, and I do not expect you guys to hate on anyone at all, because it's life. Life happens, shit happens. And also I do have some receipts, some screenshots to show you guys that this actually happened. It is true, and it's no way a lie or fake. So let's get into the video. This person I'm about to talk about is a person that most of you guys know, because we really had this public relationship. We would post it on social media, Instagram, everywhere, and you guys would love it, and some of you would call us couple goals. The thing is, you guys did not know what happened in the inside. So ever since we broke up, a lot of you guys have been asking me questions on Instagram and also my previous Facebook, what happened. Truth be told, I've never been able to talk about it. I don't know if it's because I've been embarrassed. I don't know if because I just never accepted that this actually happened to me. But you know what, that was then, this is now, and I'm so ready to talk about. So we met on Facebook, and this was in 2014. He lived in Seattle, Washington. I lived in Portland, Oregon, and if you know that, it's like about 4 or 5 hours away drive, that is. So yeah, we started talking, and like 2 months later, that was in, because we met around November, December, and 2 months later, that was 2015 in February, he came to visit me for the first time, and we hit it off and started dating since then. So the whole of 2015, we were dating. It was more of a long distance relationship because I was living with my uncle back in Portland. He was living with his friends back in Washington. So all we had to do is like commute every 2 weeks or every month we would meet. A couple months down the line, I would suspect that he was cheating on me with some girl in Seattle, but then he would deny it, obviously, and I just let it go. I was so naive. I was in love. This was my first serious relationship. I would say this was my first love, yeah. And I was like deeply in love, you know, where you ignore red flags and nobody can tell you anything. You just believe he loves you. You believe that, oh, his parents know me, so he's never gonna do anything, you know, that kind of love. So after 2015 was over, in January 2016, I moved to Seattle, Washington. We moved in with his parents, and a couple months later, we got our own apartment and we moved in together. So life was actually working out. Like everything was doing great. I got my first car, 22, together. I was working at a bank, and then we had our own apartment, and you know, like we were so young and life was just working out perfectly. So I'm gonna tell you guys that when people tell you that the only way you get to know someone is after living with them, you should believe it. Because for 1 year we were dating long distance, and I believe after living with him, I believed I had no idea who this person was, because living together made me get to know this type of person, how angry he gets, if he's clean or dirty, like stuff like that. So down the line we would argue a lot because we're living together, like over stupid shit, and I really don't remember everything, why he would start, like how he started being violent, but I remember it would always start by an argument. It doesn't matter what kind of argument. We would argue and he would push me, and then we would argue and he would slap me, and I'm like, okay. I noticed it, but then I was like, he apologized, so it's gonna pass. He's not gonna do it again because he said so. That was my mistake number one. So it kept on happening, and every time it would be worse than the last. It would get worse and worse and worse. But then again, I was like, it's okay, I don't mind. Actually, now that I remember, the first time he actually punched or pushed me, whichever it was at his parents' house, and they did not know, and he said he apologized, and we walked out and went out and did whatever. The next time was, we went to Safeway, to the store. He was teaching me how to drive, and he was really like rude to me and being so mean when he was teaching me how to drive. That was before we moved in together. I backtracked a little bit. We were still in his parents' house. He was teaching me how to drive, and then he was so mean, and I was so mad. And once we got to the store, I parked the car and he asked me for the keys, and I threw them at him, and he was so mad. And we didn't even go to the store. He drove off and left me there. And mind you, I'm so new to this place. I have no idea where to go. So I sat on the curb and I was asking myself, like, is this really what love is? Like, why would somebody drive off and leave me at a place where I just came? Like, I'm so new. And then a couple hours later, his parents asked him to look for me, and he did, and he came and picked me up. A few days later, we had another argument, and we were driving, and I was like, I'm leaving you. I told him, I'm leaving you, and then he would be like, I am driving this car off the bridge, something. You know how like there's what is it called? Like there's a road under, and then there's another one on top, so it's like a huge bridge and there are rails. So he said that he was gonna jump through there with the car, and I'm like, no, you're not gonna do that. And then I was so scared. It got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna leave you, I'm sorry. So I think at this time he knew that I loved him too much, and he started taking advantage. So fast forward, we moved in together, blah blah blah. One time we went out to a club in Bellevue. You know how like there are nice clubs out there, fancy, and then there's all these cops outside the club just like chilling. So we went in there, and then it was around 12:01. The club was almost over, and one of our friends invited us to a house party, and I really wanted to go, and he did not. I'm going to try and fasten this. He did not want to go. So I was really pleading with him, no, let's go. And he was like, no, to a point where he held my coat. I was wearing my coat, and he held me like this. He said no. He shook me, he said no. And then the police saw us. They came inside the club, and they carried him and took him outside, and then they separated us. And they were asking me this question, has he ever hit you before? Has he ever done this? I was like, no, he's never. Though it's happened before, I was just trying to like cover for him. I was being nice. I was stupidly in love. I was like, no, it's never happened. It was just a regular argument. He's never hit me. And you know, these people usually know. The cops usually know. They see the signs. And that cop gave me this book. I've never thrown away, I mean. So he gave me this book, and I ignored it. I never read it. I was just like, it's never gonna happen. So I think I was just ignorant, and I was also in denial that I'm actually being abused in some type of way. Okay, fast forward to the next time. We went to our friend's house, and again we drank, we argued. He hit me, and the friends were like, oh, you'll be fine, you guys will work it out. And for some reason I'm like, now that I'm thinking about it, why would you think that? Why would you see someone hit someone and be like, you should work it out? No, that's not supposed to happen. You're supposed to help out, call 911 or do something. But you know, who am I to judge? These friends, I met them, all my friends in Seattle, I met them through him. So they were his friends first. I don't know if they were on his side, I just don't know, but they really did nothing about it. They let it go. Slept, they took me home. I mean, we went home, and that was that. A couple days later, he hit me, and I was bleeding out on the carpet. I remember there was this carpet in it was a hallway from the living room to our bedroom, and I was bleeding. Then I would go to the bathroom, and he would hit me. I would fall, and he would kick me on my head. And sometimes I would try to run and take my phone and call 911. I tried to call 911 a couple of times, and he would like take my phone and smash it on the wall, and that was it. And then I think he's bought me a phone. He would buy me a phone the next day. I think he did that once or twice, I can't remember. And yeah, so I tried. I was really petite, and I would try to run away. He would hold me, and I wouldn't like move because he was really strong. One time I ran away, tried to knock on my neighbors. He found me. Another time I jumped through the window of our bedroom, and apparently the security guys or whatever those people are saw me, and the next day they actually gave us a warning, an eviction warning, strike one, because I'm not supposed to jump out the window. But nobody really bothered to ask why I did that. They just assumed I did it for fun, maybe. So still in the same house, another incident happened. It got to a point he told his parents. They did nothing about it. They would just be like, no, it's gonna happen. I mean, it's gonna change. You guys should work it out. Go to church. We went to church, got born again. Never changed. Got to a point he hit me again. I had to spend the night in church. Actually, I have this mark. I don't know if you can see. It's healing down the years, but yeah, I remember I got that mark. And then it just never stopped. And finally, the last incident was we went out to a club in Seattle downtown, and I went to the bathroom, and coming out I saw him talking to this girl, and I thought this girl looked familiar, so I went and asked him, because you know his long story of cheating on me. He's cheated on me so many times. So I asked him, who is that girl? And he was rude and was like, hey, never mind. I was like, okay. So I went about my business. I went to the dance floor. I started dancing. And you know, if a guy sees a girl dancing alone, they're always gonna try to come dance with them. And everyone knows back in Seattle, all my friends, even now, I would never go to the club and dance with anyone, especially if my guy is there. I'm always dancing with my guy. So I was dancing alone, and this guy would come and I would carve him. Like, I would just go around him. I didn't want to dance with me. And I think maybe my ex saw him, and maybe he thought I was like payback. I don't know what he thought, but he just grabbed my hand. Oh wait, I remember. I don't know what actually happened, but I actually threw my drink on him. I did. Yes, so I'm not all that innocent, but still at the end of the day, nobody deserves to be beaten up because you did something. Just walk away, you know. So yeah, so he saw me in the dance floor, and he grabbed my hand and he pulled me out, and he just started punching me. And you know, I'm petite, I'm tipsy, so he punched me and I'm just like fall, and eventually I hurt my knee and my head, bumped my head. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's because he punched me or because I was falling on the concrete. I do not know. So normally when we would go to the club together, I would not carry a purse. I would just give him my credit card and my cash and my phone, because he has pockets. So he had my phone, he had everything, my ID, my driver's license, everything. So in the process, outside as he was like beating me up, some good Samaritan walking outside, some Caucasian lady called the cops, and the cops came, and the ambulance came, and my ex ran away. So they asked me a few questions, and I answered. This time I was so open, because this was my first encounter with the police. Actually, I never called them, somebody did. I never even have my phone on me because he had it. So they asked me questions, I answered them, and they took me to the hospital. They did some scans on my head because I had a huge bump. Thank God there was nothing wrong with me. There were just like bruises and all this swollen arms and like my legs. And I even have like, I've never really thrown the everything. You can even see this is the hospital prescription. And then and then here we have like Diagnosis, it's just a hematoma on my knees and my forehead. And then yeah, they gave me all these things, even like where I can go stay for single women, abused single women. Like, it was serious case. So I went to hospital, and he drove the car that we had, and he just ran away. And I don't know who called his mom and his dad, but I was with my friends in the hospital, and his mom and dad called him and be like, we need to go to the hospital right now, we are picking up Maggie. And they came and they picked me. So, and we went home, we went to his parents' home. So I stayed in the hospital overnight. So during this time, the mom was so mad, and there was an arrest warrant against him, and his mom told him to turn himself in, and his mom actually decided to take him in, and they went together, and he was arrested. So I think this was the hardest part, like after all this had happened. So he went to jail. I was just by myself at home. I had some friends who I stayed with for a couple of days when I was bruised up. Thank you so much. I'm not gonna mention names, but thank you. You were there for me. And I hope I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. Okay. So the hardest part is I was by myself, and everyone, all his friends, his family, everybody would call me. Nobody called me to ask me how I was. They were just calling me to tell me, get him out of jail. He does not belong there. Get him out of jail. And the situation was, I could not get him out of jail. I could not drop the charges because I did not file the charges. It was the state against him. So I had no hand in that. So nobody really cared. And at this point, I was so like depressed. I'm like, I'm by myself. I have no family there. The parents would just call me, hey, just try and take him out, to a point where I'm like, oh my goodness, you know what, nobody cares about me, nobody gives a shit, and the only way I'm gonna move past this is just try and figure out what I can do. I emailed his lawyer. I'm going to post the receipts somewhere on the screen. I emailed his lawyer and I was like, hi, I need to drop the charges, and also I need to, because he was given a restraining order against me, I need to like drop that too. I asked the lawyer what I could do, and they were like, oh, you can just go to the hearing and testify. But this time I did not testify against him. I testified to help him out. So I went to the court, and the judge asked me questions, and all I said was, he was drunk. He was just drunk. Like, I was in his favor, literally, so he can get out of jail. He was there for like 2-3 months. And he got out. He was released thanks to me, because I was like, no, he's a nice person. He just like, oh my goodness, can't believe I did that. I was like, he's a nice person. He was just drunk. That's why he hit me. So he was released. After he was released, he was not allowed to contact me, talk to me ever, unless we were in like a social gathering, like, you know, the whole Kenyan community things in church and stuff like that. So time passed, and he would still reach out to me. It got to a point where like, he wasn't violent this time, physically violent, but emotionally. So he'd call me names. He would go to social media and try to justify why he did what he did to me. Why would people think that it's okay to hit someone? No, it's not. It doesn't matter what they did to you. Just walk away. So he would go on social media, like bash me, call me names, and I'm just quiet, to a point where I deleted my Facebook. I temporarily deleted it, my Facebook. I just didn't want to see him. I deleted all mutual friends, and I started a new life I started going to church, and I met this Nigerian people from this church from West Africa, and I had a whole bunch of Nigerian friends, and they're awesome and they're amazing. And I thank God for them, because they helped me through this whole situation, because I was all alone. Nobody was there for me, because he tried so hard to tell people to lie to people of to lie to people like why he did what he did to me, like I was a bad person. He even put it on social media, like everywhere I went, to a point where like I literally had no friends. I was just by myself, so I had to start a new life, which I did. But he did not stop. He would still try to contact me on Instagram, to a point where like a year later I moved back to Kenya, and even after I moved back to Kenya, he started this rumors that, oh, I was deported because I hate someone with a car. Another one I had is because I was hanging out with Nigerians who we were doing illegal activities with. I booked my own ticket. I got the receipts right here. Booked my own ticket, received it through email. I even booked a month or like a few weeks before I moved. Where in the world did you hear somebody paying their own ticket when you're being deported? I feel like people should actually do their research before just blabbing their mouth. Plus, you know, that was done, that was over. People should should have moved on with their lives and let people be. I mean, did you not make me suffer enough to still keep on attacking me and tracking me wherever I go? But anyway, that's done. I forgave him and I'm a new person. I already let that go. But I would want to urge you guys as I end this story, if you're going through the same situation, if you know anybody going through that, please seek help. Talk to me, talk to anybody you feel open with. Do not go through that alone. And with that said, I want to thank you so much guys for watching this till the end. I really appreciate it. If you want to suggest any video, if you have any questions, just let me know on here and also on my Instagram at Maggie_Njao, and I will really appreciate it. Thank you so much guys. I love you guys. I will see you in my next video.